everybody. Today's reading is going to be how to bring the zest back into your life. I don't know if I'm going to use the word zest there, but it's basically, if you feel a bit humdrum, how can you get I don't want to use passion either, how can you make life feel like it's alive is what I'm trying to look at. So we're going to look at lots of different areas and find probably what's already inside you that you can nurture or bring out. You've got three choices. The first choice is the Two of Cups. The second choice is the Lovers. The third choice is Page of Swords. So if you want to take your choice, and we'll just get stuck in, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, let's have a look at you. Are they all in line? Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so let's see. This is you, the Seven of Cups. So to me, this is like general personality. So if this doesn't feel like you, this may not be your spread. The Seven of Cups is a Piscean card of mutability to me. It's like people who like to have options, they like to have choices, they like to change their mind, they like life to flow, they don't like everything rigidly set out. They're not particularly organised, they're not the type of people who, you know, pre-book travel trips to is it 8th degree, 9th degree? I can't remember. They just arrive at places, you know, they can often find themselves in a bit of a pickle, but they're the ones that if somebody comes and knocks on their door and says, I know this isn't planned, but do you fancy doing this? Like, yeah, let's go. So there's a degree of flow in you, possibly, if this is you and it feels like you. You may have Gemini, Sagittarius or Pisces in you, because they tend to encompass those types of personality types, I suppose, that are more flowing. Am I right there? Yeah. Yeah, those are the mutable signs, aren't they? Have I gone bonkers? No, that is right. Yeah, I think it is anyway. It's basically people that can think on the hop and aren't emotionally invested in things that they need to keep control of situations. So this is more what you're going through at the moment. So that's your general disposition. The Queen of Pentacles, possibly through work situations, maybe financial restrictions, or just general, a sensible type of person around you, or an attitude in you at the moment. You've put that to bed a little bit, where you have to show up to work at 9 o'clock, and you may have a family that you're looking after, or you may be just going through some sort of transit, like a Saturn transit, that's slowing you down and making you be older than you possibly are, or feel older than you possibly are. Definitely more controlled and more sensible. So you may feel at the moment that you're tied down in life. You may feel like, oh, it's lost its play. Because of outward circumstances is probably what I would get there. It doesn't have to be just outward circumstances. It could be just, you know, changing you. It could be just something that's been laid on top of your personality. Let's have a look at your work and career. Okay. The Tower card here could suggest that either it suggests what I've already said already. It suggests that in your career you're possibly playing a position that you feel isn't innate. It's not your general disposition. It's what you feel you should be doing. Showing up, you know, keeping the position, keeping the job, putting that money away, saving for this, or just generally doing something that feels like a slog, that you don't feel like your heart's in anymore, possibly the Tower card there. And it could almost feel a bit like you pull so much that you feel like you could snap with the Tower card there. I remember very quickly, but teaching in my 20s, and I had to drive 30 miles to work every day, and it was from Newbury to Reading. It's on the M4 that goes on the other side of that is London. And I used to fantasize every day of not turning off the junction to go to work and just going to the airport. I'll not tell anybody. That is what this feels like. It's like somebody who's quite easily feels like they can be tied down. They don't really like structure too much, and it feels a bit like at a breaking point with regards to a work situation. So let's have a look at love. Love again. Love again. Oh my gosh. Is also the same thing. To me, this is a little bit more in this spread than I expected. It's a bit like life feels a bit of a drudge to you at the moment. It feels like you're playing the grown-up, and inside you there's something that wants to be free and play and love and move and not be tied down whatsoever by anybody or by work. And you could be almost at the end of your tether, really. Is what I would say. Let's have a look at your friends. Friends are fair. Friends are kind. Friends are truthful. They're with you. You've got somebody you can at least, phone up and discuss. I really feel like I'm going to escape. I really feel like I just want to chuck it all in and, go abroad or travel or just change job, apply for something totally different. My love life just feels a bit flat, and I'm not sure whether to end that as well. So there are big breaking points here, maybe just in your mind, but the Justice card here, it's like you've got supportive friends. People, Justice card is an air card, so it's people who are very straightforward. They will tell you what they're thinking, and they're normally people who give good advice. It's like they won't try and over please you, to be too sort of mushy and not really listen, or they won't be too sort of harsh and get back on your horse, that type of thing. Arsenal John Wayne, isn't it? It's just like, well, this may happen if you choose this position, and this may happen if you do this. It's that type of thing. You make the decision, I'll lay it out clearly for you. So good friends, supportive without being over the top. Family, Hanged Man is upside down. This could suggest lots of different things with the hangman upside down. It could suggest you've not had contact or not been that close to your family. It doesn't suggest anything negative. It just is you may be grown up, that type of thing. But it suggests there may be more contact in the future, or maybe it's already started. That's an unusual one, really, for families. Let me just put another card over it. The Hangman is like watching and understanding and trying to look at things possibly from a more spiritual perspective. Again, Piscean feeling in here, but with it the other way around, it's more like get moving here. So something to do with family. To me, it could be not a lot of contact, but some. Not really, neither here nor there. It's like phone calls. It's not over immersed in family again. A bit like friends. Maybe you've got lots of like air inside you that quite likes distance. But to me, there's nothing really wrong in here. It just is like you're not really that much in contact, that type of thing. Just grown up, that phone call once a week type thing, or checking to see everybody's okay. No big deal there. So let's have a look at the points inside you that are going to get you what I guess, if this feels right, is out of a pickle, which is feeling either forlorn or aggressive, probably both combined together. Let's have a look. The Justice card, you're a straight person as well. Possibly you're airy. You may have Aquarius and Gemini and Libra quite prominent in your chart, and you choose friends who are similar. People who are balanced and truthful and not over dramatic. It's striking that middle ground here. So I feel that your next steps, possibly using this card, could come from a point of view of making sure all your bases are covered before you move, because these are quite drastic cards. And it's like, what makes sense to me? It's like sitting down and saying, in a very straightforward way, what do I need in my life? What do I feel I need to express? How can I get that without throwing the baby out with the bathwater? So that is a good point to have, I suppose. The other one is the Magician card. Again, another mind-orientated Mercurial card here, which, to put these two together, is your mind is your greatest gift. The way that you think, it's got an entrepreneurial, I can't say that word, feel about it. It's like somebody who possibly is, and I reckon you know this, I think you've got lots of skills up your sleeve, and possibly you feel that they are underdeveloped in your present business or where you work, but you know that you could do anything that you want with them. And it's like, you're wondering here, possibly, will that right moment come? And this suggests here that you may be already getting ready, which may, is a bit like this card here, that's to do with family. Maybe family have relayed this to you, that, you know, let's just say you're not happy in a position, whether it is relationship or work, probably both. And maybe your family, if you could link these two together, with this energy being very airy and it's like keeping your skills quiet, but you know you've got them up your sleeve. It's maybe you've talked to your family and said, you know, I'm not really happy. They say, well, you could do this and this. You know you could because you've done it before, or we've seen that in you as a kid, and you're really good at setting yourself up, and you've got that confidence, and you're bright. You don't have to. These are more like use your own mind type cards, and these to me are cards where you're strung up by somebody putting resistance on you or heaviness on you in some way, and you're getting to the end where you just can't be bothered with it. And it's like, remember who you were. Remember who you were as a kid. You know, used to set up, this is like somebody who sets up shop down the road and sells half of the, you know, your parents' wares on the street. It's got that, and laughing about it with your friends. You know, when your mum sees her favourite ornament being sold for 2p to the neighbours. It's that type of feeling. It's bright and skillful and pushes it a little bit. But I feel that you've put these a bit behind you, and you're not using them at the moment because of these cards here and that. There's oppressive cards up here. Let's have a look at your other skill. Nine of Pentacles, good with money. This to me has got a very sort of wise, detached feeling, where you don't show your skills. You could be quite introverted, but you know you've got them. You're not somebody to shout out. You know, this is like a lady that's happy in what she's got and who she is and where she sits. And this, the Magician, is the same thing. It's like, I know what skills I've got. They're all on the table, and I can, if I choose to, switch that electric light on with this here, you know, like pulling that sort of spiritual, I say spiritual knob, but that sounds rude, and lighting yourself up, and you're just waiting for the right time. So that is what, there's a lot hidden inside you that you don't give to other people or show to other people. And I feel these situations here in relationships and work are nudging you a little bit to bring the best out of yourself. I feel there's an introverted feeling here that you know you're good at these certain things, you know you can get life moving, you know that you know you can articulate yourself, that your mind's straight, and you know that you're skillful, and you're very, it's like self-composed here, you know, self-assured, but you've hidden it a little bit, I think, here, and it's beginning to tell. And it's almost like with a Tower card, it's when situations get shoved on us because you're hiding under your bushel, and then you get pulled out from it by your feet. So what can you do to let go? The Lovers card, you've got to make a decision. You need to make a decision on what to do in love and work. Maybe talk to friends, maybe pick up the phone to family, discuss it. But this is like, there's a lot to be had out of you that is screaming to be let out with these cards here. And you're being forced down a track at the moment, possibly, that feels a bit, and as I said, it's like love and work, that you feel like you're being something for somebody else and not for yourself. And if you drive down the M4 and you pass that job that makes you feel like that, somebody's going to be very lucky to have you, or somebody, you don't have to be employed by anybody, or you know, you don't have to be in a particular relationship with a certain person, but there are probably two situations in the world, another relationship maybe, or another job, and those situations are going to be better for you being there and being aware of what you've got to give. This is like I'm confident in myself, but not in the outside world. My sister said to me, she said, I've never met anybody who's internally referenced, I don't even know what that meant, as you. And, you know, that is that, but you possibly get this feeling here where you're not really sure how you're accepted by the outside world because you don't really think about it. you like to please people, but it's not something you give a lot of, you've got to please yourself first. And this is probably something you're good at. So you may do something that draws on those qualities. Something, whatever self-reference means. So that's what I've got there. So that is fantastic. With regards to how to bring that oomph back into your life, is to be yourself and to be in a very sort of assertive, outgoing way. Even if this is very internal, as I said, you know who you are. It's now it's time to push it out, and I feel you're going to get it squeezed out of you if you don't make that move. And you've got something inside you that people need with these cards here. People want to see more of you. And you're waiting for the right moment. And this, to be honest, the Lover's card is the right moment. So if you've got something up your sleeve, that you feel that people need, or the world needs, or you need to express, then this is the time. So, that's what I've got. It's time to move with confidence. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you there. Thank you very much. Bye. Let's have a look. Pile number 2. How to get that zest, that oomph back in your life. Let's have a look at you, your general nature. If this doesn't feel like you, these 2 cards, you may want to try a different pile 1 or pile 3. The Knight of Wands is somebody possibly who is courageous and has a zest for life naturally anyway. Somebody who enjoys adventures, and that means in love or in work, you need to be challenged. Somebody who's warm and giving, and somebody who's fun to be with, somebody who's exciting. Somebody that makes life more fun naturally. What you're going through at the moment, or the situation, oh my gosh, is exactly the same card as the same situation as the last spread. When you've got somebody with this energy who does like life to be alive and likes, as I said, a challenge, and you've got the Queen of Pentacles, you could feel quite tired at the moment. The Queen of Pentacles, these energies don't go very well together. It's like, be sensible, save money, stick your job, be polite, and get it done and don't think. I always think of this, and I went into W.H. Smith's, which is like a bookstore that we have here in the UK, and I picked up Arnold Schwarzenegger's book because there's something about his documentary I really like. I don't even know what it is, but it's all like, don't even think about how you feel, just get out of bed and do it. And that is very much that card. And it's like you may have had a little bit of the fun squeezed out of you recently and had to get up and show up and do the 9 to 5, or, life's busy, possibly outside work doing things. I feel you like to be busy with this card here, but you also like freedom, and busy for the sake of it is not so much fun. I find fire people fascinating. You can often see them when I not when I'm teaching, but when I listen to kids who are older, probably about 19, 20, and they're like, well, I had to ask this question because I needed to know, and I don't know if the teachers like me because I feel like I'm just being, too much and always asking. It's because there's a real sense of having to keep things moving with fire signs, and having to feel alive. They just don't do things and switch off. Especially Aries, to be honest. They won't do things for the sake of doing it. They'll find a way round, a route round, to make it quicker or more exciting, or possibly both. Yeah, not very good at ultimatum. And I feel that that's where you may have been pushed a little bit at the moment. As life normally does that to us, and that is just part and parcel, of having you could just have a Saturn transit. And I said this in the last spread, exactly the same position. You could just be in a Saturn transit and everything gets slowed down, and you have to prove your worth, and you get more responsibility. And we have to do that as well. But you're more likely to pull out of that a lot quicker than most. Capricorn will be like, yeah, I'm quite enjoying this challenge, and it's long-term challenge. But with fire there, you're like, I'm enjoying this challenge, but no, I need to call it quits because it's gone on too long. That type of feeling. I once saw a fiery man in work, and he was unravelling, pretty fiery, maybe a bit of Uranus in there as well, I think, but it was quite strong. He said that he had ADHD or autistic, or I can't remember what he said, one or the other. I think ADHD he told me. Anyway, he had to unravel some Christmas lights up, for a big Christmas tree, like a playground Christmas tree, not like a little one on a desk. And they were all knotted, and we just watched him. We just watched him do it, and he was in this energy. But I know it was naturally this energy where he wanted to stamp on every bulb, but he was doing this, and he's like, applauding himself afterwards. So that's probably the frustration that you may be feeling at the moment. So let's have a look at work and career. Tower card. Oh my gosh, I shuffled these, and it's like the layout is very similar almost, and it's not like the layout's down here, it's exact the same place. Oh, it could have been here, I don't know. The Tower card in a work situation, to me, to have these together would be a feeling of being compressed. As I said, this is your work, very much could be unravelling the Christmas lights. It's like I feel choked, I feel compressed, I feel as if I need to make a change, I feel like I'm not using my initiative or my qualities. And I said this last time, entrepreneurial, I can't say it, because that type of Knight of Wands is courageous, and they're curious and they just want to get things moving. And the Tower card here suggests possibly you're in a situation that is threatened in some way, and you don't really like the threat because you're having to be really careful, and you don't want to be careful because you lose your creativity. It's a time to move, possibly, I would say, of the Tower, where things may be changing naturally anyway. It may not be anything you're doing. There could be just changes in the environment, or you could be looking elsewhere inside yourself, perhaps working, out of school hours, if you know what I mean, or out of work hours. But you need something fresh. And I feel that if something, take this with a pinch of salt. This is, of course, it's a group reading. If you do feel this is right, it's right for you. But if you're feeling this strongly, if you don't start looking elsewhere, you could get the rug pulled from under your feet with the Tower card there. The Tower card is when we build up a concept or a thought process in our minds and we think that's correct. And life comes along and says, don't get too fixed on that way of thinking, and boom, it gets pulled. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's, a work situation, or whether it's just how we see ourselves. It's the ego getting a little there, its head chopped off. And that is what that is in a work situation here. So, yeah, I'm not going to say too much, but I'm just looking at this card. Let's have a look at love. Oh my God. They're the same cards in the same situation. Again, I don't know what, maybe there's a lot of people going through it, which is very possible at the moment, to be honest. Love, the Ten of Swords, is like, again, it's oppression in different areas of your life. The Ten of Swords is like, well, internally, externally, I don't know, a situation has ended. And again, you're looking for something fresh. The last Power 1 didn't have the Knight of Wands here. It had a more Piscean card of, let's see what choices come to me. This is like, I'm not waiting for anything. I can feel it. This is going, this isn't what I want. I'm not getting fed from the situation, whether it is a relationship, whether it's work, I guess it's both. And you are chomping at the bit to get moving. You're too impatient to wait around to feel, oh, maybe we'll see what, not to fear is the wrong word, but maybe we'll see what comes up next. This is like, no, I'm not having any of that. And it's like, you can sense it, you can smell it with your spidey powers or whatever they are, spidey senses, and you're ready to move. So you'll know more about that. It's more like a eyes out, what can I do next? And should I set this up? And lots of thoughts in your head. And where can I go? And when you're talking to people, you think, oh, maybe you may be a good partner, or maybe that job may be good. It's like, or looking out for different relationships and feeling that either you need a relationship because you haven't had one for a while with the Ten of Swords, or your present relationship isn't exactly what you want. So it's, I guess, and a feeling of being, this is the wrong word, it's internally unstable. And I don't mean unstable as negative, but it's just like change is coming, I can smell it and I need to move type feeling. Let's have a look at your friends. Five of Swords, this is a different card from last time. The Five of Swords is maybe you've argued with friends recently, or The Five of Swords is a card of defeat, but when somebody wins, you could have had like a conversation. It doesn't have to be anything drastic. I know maybe something's on your mind where you've spoken to somebody recently and you either let them win the conversation or the little argument or the situation, and you feel like, okay, I've slightly cut off from you. Or you won it and you feel like, oh no, perhaps I shouldn't have done that. Which is likely with the Knight of Wands here, because there's a lot of competitiveness in fire signs, especially Aries. In fact, all of them, to be honest, but Aries the most, I would guess here. So you could have perhaps been a bit abrupt or said what you thought, and which is good to be truthful, but there's also timing to be considered there as well. I do think that with fire signs, to speak the truth is we all need to do more of that. I think, I don't know about fire signs, but the timing is also something that needs to be considered. And I think people with lots of fire, lots of Sagittarius, timing is something they should always keep in mind. We all have our own truth and we have to make a choice of when to say it, when it's needed and when it's not. Aries as well, I suppose. I mean, all of us. Aquarius can do it as well, Uranus. It's very quick and very sort of thinking it said it. Yeah, so that may have something to do. So at the moment, I feel that your life is going through a situation where you've got the guts and the glory to plough through anything, and maybe life at the moment makes you feel like you are going through something. Let's have a look at family. Oh my Lord. I can't imagine this is totally true for everybody, but to have the Three of Swords for family makes me think that your friends and your family have gone down the same track. Three of Swords could be estranged from family as well. Maybe you haven't seen them for a long time. Maybe there's another argument about, around you with regards to a family member, or the family as a whole. You're looking for a complete change. And I feel that, look at it this way, you've called these circumstances to you to test yourself. And I'm going from this fire sign card. You've got a Lover's card there, which is choices, and they're coming to you in full force. Whether it is like a karmic type of feeling where before you've come down, you've said, look, I want things to change. I want them to change on all these different areas so that I make something different. Or I change my mind and where I want to be in life. And it may feel heavy and I may feel tied in, but when I come out the other side, I want to be really good at where I'm going to go and I want it to have a push to it. I don't know. Let's have a look at what you've got to help you. Okay, I would say here that there's a feeling of brightness and fire, which we've already said here. The Two of Wands is potential, and you rub, he's got one stick there, he's got two sticks here, you rub two sticks together, it's, you stick that at the horse's bottom and it's a flame, isn't it? It's going to get moving. So you're looking out, you're thinking, the world's your lobster, you've got the earth here, it's like looking outwards, you know that you can do anything. As I said, it's a real sense of passion and courage inside you to do anything. Not fearful. You may be the type of person that does work abroad with this card here and is not afraid to move on from one situation to the next. Or you can put it closer to home and you're not scared to hand your notice in and move on. You'd rather do that than feel like the working dead and just feel like, really sort of hemmed in a little bit too much. And I feel that's being pushed at the moment. The Eight of Cups again says the same thing. It's your ability to walk away from a situation that you've outgrown. And the Page of Swords, to me, being on top of the mountain and being your mind, is your ability to look below and to be bright enough to understand your past. To understand what has led to this. What do you want out of life? What situations or choices have you had before and where have they led you? So as I said, there's a feeling here of being able to move when you know that the situation has, had its fill and you can't get squeeze anything more out of it, which I feel is where you're at the moment. These are quite drastic cards. And I'm not going to lead somebody down the path that, I don't think I've got those magic powers, but down a path that doesn't suit them. But if this is you, this is very strong. And it is like, I know this is coming and I'm happy with that and it's time to move. So let's have a look at the last card. What do you need to let go of? The looking, the searching, the waiting for that time to get that spark moving. and I feel really bad saying this, but to me, I'm going to say what I can see, and you've got to interpret it your own way with your own circumstances and with your own personality. It's time to move, is what I would say here. That spark that is part of who you are, it's saying, well, use it then to do what you need to do, because these situations are dead. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, work, family, relationships, as in like friends, and the 3 of Swords. It's time to move on. They're not serving you anymore, and you're good at that. So if you did the ring, it's time. And you're probably feeling a little bit more oppression here to get you moving. So I'm going to leave that there and just say again, because they're quite drastic cards, if that doesn't feel like you, just totally ignore it. You know, the group readings, what you're meant to do in a group reading is, I guess, is like, it's like overhearing a conversation at a bus stop. It's like, oh, well, I'm really unsteady at the moment and I feel like I'm not doing something. And you know, if somebody says, oh, well, I know somebody who did this and they actually made that move and they felt like they were themselves again. And, you know, they just changed completely and they were just doing something that they were meant to be doing, and it was a struggle at first, but to be honest, I feel like they quite enjoy the struggle. Like, oh yeah, that's what I want. And that is what that is saying. It's remember the little spark inside you. We've all got a little spark inside us. We've all got exactly the same spark inside us. It's just as interpreted through our personalities, which is probably your horoscope, but it's like, find that spark. You know, what makes you feel passionate, and that's what the Knight of Wands wants. It's what makes you, that spark, it's like you're here for, you know, to experience and to play and to enjoy, or to go through like karmic experiences where we know ourselves better. But you've also got to find out what makes you tick, because it's going to take you close to the path that you need to. And I don't feel you're very close to that at the moment. I feel that you've got yourself stuck in a situation that could do with being loosened. I'm going to leave you there. You know, and good luck if that does feel like you. Thank you very much. Bye. Okay, pile number 3, how to bring the zest back into your life. I'm going to unpeel the cards bit by bit. I did actually put these down the other way around and turn them around quickly, so I can't remember them, but I did see them initially. Just to see how it layers, and things may change. This is you at the moment, the Empress card. Actually, that's wrong. This is you, general personality anyway. This is more like how things may be at the moment. The Empress card is somebody who is quite gracious. Well, let's just say gracious, in the fact that they allow life to be. They subtly expand. There's a beauty to be had, a very sort of Venusian, Taurus, Libra, tend to be physically good looking, you know, just generally have the best genes out of mum and dad, or some part of the family, whether it's grandma or granddad, or there's a kindness there, an ability for people to feel comfortable with you. A creativity and ability to expand that. So you maybe have some sort of, you know, your job may be creative, or you may have little hobbies which are, you know, whatever you touch, it's like a bit like a Midas touch. And people are drawn towards you because you've just got a comfortable disposition. There's an ease to you. People feel comfortable with you. Let's see how you are at the moment to add on to that. Oops, the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords makes me think that it's a bit gnarly, to be honest, with the Empress card there. It's a bit like you may enjoy time to yourself or time with friends and ease and sipping around with a gin and tonic outside with your buddies. And the 5 of Swords makes me think that feeling that you like to hold on to, as I said, that gracious ease is not there at the moment with the 5 of Swords, where you feel a little bit like people are nipping at you, or something's unfair, or somebody's trying to get one over. So it's a slight tension there, and you don't like it. This type of man or woman, the Empress card here, you don't like that feeling. You like things to be, I mean, Libras, they just like, you can hit Libras in conversations. They try and cover all grounds to make sure that everybody's okay. They can almost like grate their backs down cheese graters to make sure everybody's okay. You know, typically what could be termed as a people pleaser. But also with Libras, I've noticed that being the scales, they will do what they can to make sure everything's okay and everybody's happy, which is absolutely impossible, isn't it? And you can, I can see this from working on YouTube. You're doing like group readings. Somebody's going to say, "Oh, that really resonated. Thanks very much." And the other's like, "What a load of shit." You can't do it. Which I suppose is good for us all, really, in some way. Yeah, and with the Empress card here and the Five of Swords, I just feel that you may feel like you've. Oh, I was saying the Empress with the scales can very much be, I will try and please you until it's tipped the other way. When somebody is a bit shitty with you back and you think, oh, okay, that's it, done. And you tip back the other way and you're just gone. That type of thing. They will try and make everything okay to begin with. The Five of Swords here is, I feel that you are on that tipping edge of being diplomatic at the moment. In some circumstances in life. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at work. Knight of Cups. Maybe somebody you're attracted to in work with the Knight of Cups. Or it could be just gentle people around you, very much a similar type of energy, who have you, look after each other and take care of each other. So there's an element of perhaps growth as well, the Knight of Cups, especially if you're involved in a job which is you're emotionally invested in, or that causes for some sort of something beautiful to be expressed, like a graphic designer, or what else? The Knight of Cups and the Empress. It's like making things beautiful through being emotionally appealing in some way, whatever that means. It could be like counselling, it's like, trying to soothe people's emotions and how they see life. But it's very creative feeling here. So it could be something more arty. And arty is a word that can go into lots of different careers. It doesn't have to be with a berry on and with oil paints. Yeah, is what I would get there. So work seems okay, to be honest. It feels like you have a chance to express yourself and it feels like you. And it feels like there's possibilities, to potential to move forward into different positions or to get what you want out of it. Yeah, I'm going to have to stick with that because that's what it looks like. Let's have a look at love. Love looks as if a bit of healing's going on here with the Six of Swords. It could feel like you may not have had contact with somebody for a while and you've just basically had to keep yourself to yourself and not reach out. Or it could feel like the relationship feels like it this is a bit of a direct way to put it, but past its sell by date and you're sort of just trying to move forward with that and think, okay, don't think too much about it. Or it could even be, you could be divorced with little children in the boat here, and that's just the situation that you're in. You're setting up house on your own, or you've been there a while, or your partner's not there, and it's just like, well, that's what it is. And I have to make the best of it, and yeah, that's it. So it's like self-soothing a little bit here in some way, but there's not a bad feeling with the rest of the spread. So, it's just what it is type of feeling, and you can cope with it. Friends, let's have a look at friends. You've got some good friends. The Nine of Cups is a great card to have for friends. It's the type of friend that, when you're down, turns up with, I don't know, a box of chocolates or a bottle of something, being the Nine of Cups, and says, let's just get over it, let's play, or let's, you can tell me what you're thinking, and you feel happy when you're with them. So there's got to be somebody good around you who you can pick the phone up to at least and makes you feel like everything's all right. Maybe an old school buddy with the Nine of Cups there, because there's that feeling of being comfortable in yourself, the Nine of Cups. It's like self-satisfied. It's like somebody that makes you feel soothed. Whether it is through a bottle of wine or, with these cards here, it's like when you're together, everything just feels like you were when you were young and when nobody had any worries. Not many people, well, some people do, but life tends to be generally, obviously not always, easier when we're younger. We don't have to pay bills and tell kids off and that type of thing, or, boyfriends and girlfriends. To tell them off. This is just like, somebody you just are at ease with. And I think you like being at ease. You like flow in life. Not everybody does. As I was saying in the reading for number 2, Aries, Sagittarius, maybe Leo, definitely the first two. They like not compete, but it is compete, but they like a challenge. They definitely like a challenge in life. They feel that you may be a bit more, I just want life to flow and everything to be easy and, a comfort. You look for comfort more than a grind. Right, with regards to family, Eight of Cups, you may not be with your family, you may be in a different country at the moment, you may just have not spoken to them for a long time, or you could have literally turned your back on them. It's either way, it's just saying emotionally moved away, this card here. You know, whether it is geographically as well, geographically as well, but it's like family may not play a big part in your life at the moment. Let me just put one card over that. I'm saying it as if that's okay, but I don't know. As I said, it just could be just the way things are. It could be more, the move could have been more sudden than you would have thought. Maybe an argument, possibly, with this card here. Something unexpected, but that could equally be a job that came up, or you're just not close to each other, and it could have just been quick. But it could also very much be a little bit of deception from a family member, and so slightly estranged. Yeah, it could be, to be honest. Okay, let's have a look. What we've got so far is somebody who likes to flow, somebody who generally life feels quite good, that you're not in such a bad place. Relationships, maybe, I don't know, this isn't a bad spread. It's a little bit unsettled, if anything, in the different areas that you've talked about, but it's not, if you look at the first two spreads, you realise that they're harder. Let's see what you've got going for you. Again, the Three of Pentacles, let me pull them all over. What you've got going for you is everybody loves you, basically. You've got that personality where people are very much drawn towards you because you make life feel light. You work together as part of a team. There's something very diplomatic and sociable about you. The Knight of Cups twice here, and the Empress card here. The Temperance card, again, is like the settled part of Sagittarians. You know, that more, you get like fire signs, Sagittarius and Leo, you can get two different types. One is a lot louder, a lot more showy, and the other one you can get is more internal and more like the pussycat of the Leo and the sort of the monk of the Sagittarius. This is what, I don't know if I'm right, but it doesn't really matter if I'm right or not. It's just what you can apply to yourself that will help yourself. And the Temperance card here, possibly with this card, is internally you are very wise and you know what you need and what you want and what other people need and how to get the best out of yourself. It's a very measured feeling in here. You're the type of person that possibly when you were growing up, other parents enjoyed being with you. It's like, oh, invite so-and-so around because we like them. Yeah, that type of person. It's like everybody wants you at the party. You don't often cause a fuss. This is a lovely card and it goes with the rest of the spread. You're settled inside yourself so you don't feel the need to push out externally, to get a reaction from people to find out who you are. It's like, well, I don't really need it. You know, these cards say, I don't really need that. I know who I am. Something very calm and giving and gracious and loving about you, and an ability to work as part of a team. I know somebody who feels like this. Everybody loves her. She's a beautiful lady, internally, externally. She just loves being with people. She loves giving to people. She takes no nonsense though. In fact, I feel that possibly she's the type of lady that may give a little bit too much and may end up being poorly as she gets older because she's always there for everybody else and thinking about everybody else. But this is the feeling that you've got here, what you've got at your disposal to be able to bring back that oomph into your life, your love of others, your love of yourself. Very sort of, self-accepting, very balanced inside yourself. It's like you could put your mind to anything and make it work. You could go into any situation and be able to understand the other person and their needs. And there's not like some people you could use that to manipulate, couldn't you? Like a very thoughted Plutonic feeling, but it's not. It's more Venusian. It's more like, okay, we can make this work and let's find the best way around it. So you're very adaptable, I would guess here. You're just all together. is all I can say there. You're just all together, you're calm, considered, you know who you are, you know what you want out of life, and you want people to be happy as well as yourself. And there's a lot to be said about that. To me, if I had this spread, it would give me confidence to go and do anything, whether it was walking to a pub on your own or applying for a job or asking somebody out. I'm not going to do any of these, by the way. Or, or just anything, because people just see you as beautiful, and internally and externally, I would guess. You just got it all going on, and it's not flash. It's very measured and very easy, and there's an ease to you. There's 2 women I know, not the one I talked about. These are more like kids in school that I knew when I was younger. Didn't know them that well, but that was just it all together. You know, you're in different groups and you're almost like, it's a bit like West Side Story. This group doesn't mix with this group. And then you get this type of character that comes over to your group and just is, just like chats, and then goes back to their own group, because they don't see any divide between the groups. And there's something very beautiful about that. And I think that lack of seeing, I actually know a man like this as well, that lack of seeing boundaries is what's going to help you get your oomph back, because you can just put yourself in any situation that you fancy and know that you'll fit. Not everybody will love you, but generally, I think 90% of people are really pleased to have you anywhere in their life, in love, in work, and family probably. If there is some feeling of being estranged here, I can imagine really miss you. This is lovely. So let's have a look at what you need to let go of. The Judgment card. No, it can't be that. You would automatically say the Judgment card is judging people, but with what we've been talking about and all the cards up here, I can't imagine that. It's change, possibly. Let me put some more cards on it. You probably don't like change. And maybe need to let go of that. You find change hard. So whatever does need an element of change here, you don't have to do it abruptly. The last 2 spreads had like the Ten of Swords and the Tower card in them. It's like something is calling for change. In this spread, it's like you could slither in and out of any situation you want, but it is good to change, to move. Don't get too comfortable, because we're always supposed to be improving and expressing. And there's got to be some movement there. So with regards to how to get your zest back in life, is to slither. Is to know that whatever situation you put yourself into, if something comes forward to you, it's take advantage of it. You don't have to be, rip-roaring through life, but you do. People want to see more of you. This type of energy is soothes everybody else out. So make sure that you do go out and you do see your friends and you do spread yourself out with family and you do put yourself into different arenas in work. So don't be afraid to do that, because as I just said, it just is. You're doing everybody a favour. You're doing everybody a favour by sharing yourself, really. If this feels right and you're very laid back and very loving and very creative, very sort of aware of others and wanting to make other people feel good, then people need to see more of you. Because it's selfish to keep yourself to yourself. So change your circumstances, have a few goals and work towards them. This isn't like, hand your notice in or find new friends. It's really more like what can you experience in life? It's got to be varied. That will give you that little bit of excitement to move outwards and more. You should have, this has got a lovely, smooth, gorgeous feel about it. It's a bit sort of laid back. It's a bit like lazy in a nice way. They always say like Venus square Jupiter. You can't do anything wrong with Jupiter, apparently, or and especially Venus. If you put a square in an opposition, which aren't easy aspects, it's like, yeah, I can see that. It's like whatever you do, even if you're a bit lazy, there's something even funny in that. There's something even nice in lying around and you know, having eaten popcorn and watching films. Just something really magnetic about you. So to get your zest back is to have some goals, move towards them smoothly, make sure your life has change in it, you know, just have some variety in it, and to let others see your personality, and to be loving and kind to everybody, regardless if you get it back or not. You won't always get it back, as I said, with that Libra feeling, but you'll know, you know, with confidence when to basically say, okay, I don't want you in my life, I'm off. So that's what you got there. Lovely, lovely. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you very much. Bye.